Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are reading from Adi Lila, 7th chapter, verse 74. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurum Din Tarinam Parmanand Madhvam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. In this age of Kali, there is no religious principle other than the chanting of the holy name, which is the essence of all Vedic hymns. This is the purport of all scriptures. Purport: the principles of the Parampara system were strictly honored in previous ages, Satyayug, Tretayug and Dwapar But in the present age, Kali Yuga, people neglect the importance of the system of Shrauta, Parampara, or receiving knowledge by disciplic succession. In this age, people are prepared to argue that they can understand that which is beyond their limited knowledge and perception through so-called scientific observations and experiments, not knowing that actual truth comes down to man from authorities. This argumentative attitude is against the Vedic principles, and it is very difficult for one who adopts it to understand that the holy name of Krishna is as good as Krishna himself. Since Krishna and his holy name are identical, the holy name is eternally pure and beyond material contamination. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a transcendental vibration. The holy name is completely different from material sound as confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur. Golokera Premadhana Hari Nam Sankirtan, the transcendental vibration of Hari Nam Sankirtan, is imported from the spiritual world. Thus, although materialists who are addicted to the experimental knowledge and the so-called scientific method cannot place their faith in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is a fact that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra offenselessly, one can be freed from all subtle and gross material conditions. The spiritual world is called Vaikuntha, which means without anxiety. In the material world, everything is full of anxiety, Kuntha, whereas in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, everything is free from anxiety. Therefore, those who are afflicted by a combination of anxieties cannot understand the Hare Krishna mantra, which is free from all anxiety. In the present age, the vibration of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the only process that is in a transcendental position beyond material contamination. Since the holy name can deliver a conditioned soul, it is explained here to be Sarva Mantra Sar, the essence of all Vedic hymns. A name that represents an object of this material world may be subjected to arguments and experimental knowledge, but in the absolute world, a name and its owner, the fame and the famous, are identical. And similarly, the qualities, pastimes, and everything else pertaining to the absolute are also absolute. Although Mayavadis profess monism, they differentiate between the holy name of the Supreme Lord and the Lord himself. For this offense of Namaprad, they gradually glide down from their exalted position of Brahma Gyan as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32. Aruhya Krichena Param Padam Tataha Patanti Adho Anadrita Yushmad Angrayaha. Although by severe austerities they rise to the exalted position of Brahma Gyan, they nevertheless fall down due to imperfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Although they profess to understand the Vedic mantra Sarvam Khalva Idam Brahma from the Chanda Yoga Upanishad 3.14.1, which means everything is Brahman, they are unable to understand that the holy name is also Brahman. If they regularly chant the Mahamantra, however, they can be relieved from this misconception. Unless one properly takes shelter of the holy name, he cannot be relieved from the offensive stage in chanting the holy name. Verse 75. After describing the potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, my spiritual master taught me another verse, advising me to always keep it within my throat. Verse 76, for spiritual progress in this age of Kali, there is no alternative, there is no alternative, there is no alternative to the holy name, the holy name, the holy name of the Lord. This is the famous verse. Harer Nam, Harer Nam eva kevalam, kalau nasti eva nasti, eva nasti eva gatir anyatha. So, this verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapters Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse 76. Purport: for the progress in spiritual life, the Shastras recommend meditation in Satya Yuga, sacrifice for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu in Treta Yuga, and gorgeous worship of the Lord in the temple in Dwapar Yuga. But in the age of Kali, one can achieve spiritual progress only by chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is confirmed in various scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many references to this fact. In the 12th canto 3.51, it is said, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti hi eko mahan gunaha kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. In the age of Kali, there are many faults, for people are subjected to many miserable conditions. Yet in this age, there is one great benediction. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can be freed from the material contamination and thus be elevated to the spiritual world. The Narad Pancharatra also praises the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as follows. Trayo Vedas Shad Angani Chandamasi Vividha Surah Sarvam Ashtaksharanant Aksharantah Stham Yach Chanyad Api Van Mayam Sarva Vedanta Sararth Samsara Arnava Taranaha. The essence of the Vedic knowledge, comprehending the three kinds of Vedic activity, Karmakand, Jnanakand, and Upasanakan, the chandas or Vedic hymns, and the processes for satisfying the demigods, is included in the 8 syllables Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is the reality of all Vedanta. The chanting of the holy name is the only means to cross the ocean of nations. Similarly, the Kali Santaran Upanishad states Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These 16 names, composed of 32 syllables, are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. In all the Vedas, it is seen that to cross the ocean of nations, there is no alternative to the chanting of the holy name. Similarly, Srimad Vacharya, while commenting upon the Mundak Upanishad, has quoted the following verse from the Narayan Samhita. Dwaparayer Janer Vishnu Pancharatrayestu Kaivaleh Kalo tu Nam Matrena Pujyate Bhagwan Hari. In Dwapar Yuga, one could satisfy Krishna or Vishnu only by worshipping him gorgeously according to the Pancharatriki system. But in the age of Kali, one can satisfy and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, simply by chanting the holy name. In his Bhakti Sandarbha text 284, Srila Jiva Goswami strongly emphasizes the chanting of the holy name of the Lord as follows. Nanu Bhagwan Namatmaka eva mantraha tatra visheshena nama shabdadi alankritaha Shri Bhagwan Srimad Rishibhes Chahita Shakti Visheshaha Shri Bhagavata Samam Atma Sambandha Vishesha Pratipadaka's Tatra Kevalani Shri Bhagwan Namani Api Nirapekshani Eva Param Purushartha Phala Paryanta Danas Samarthani Tato Mantreshu Namato Api Adhik Samarthye Labdhe Katham Dikshadi Apeksha Uchyate Yadi Api Swarupato Nasti Tathapi Prayah Swabhavo To Dehadi Sambandhena Kadaraya Shilanam Vikshipta Chittanam Jnanam Jana Jnananam Attat Sankochi Karanaya Srimad Rishi Prabhritibhir Atrarchana Marge Kvachit Kvachit Kachit Kachin Maryada Sthapitasti. Srila Jiva Goswami states that the substance of all the Vedic mantras is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Every mantra begins with the prefix Nama Om and eventually addresses by the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the supreme will of the Lord, there is a specific potency in each and every mantra chanted by great sages like Narad Muni and other rishis. Chanting the holy name of the Lord immediately renovates the transcendental relationship of the living being with the Supreme Lord. To chant the holy name of the Lord, one need not depend upon other paraphernalia, for one can immediately get all the desired results of linking with the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. It may therefore be questioned why there is necessity for initiation or further spiritual activities in devotional service for one who engages in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The answer is that although it is correct that one who fully engages in chanting the holy name need not depend upon the process of initiation, generally a devotee is addicted to many abominable material habits due to material contamination from his previous life. In order to get quick relief from all these contaminations, it is required that one engage in the worship of the Lord in the temple. The worship of the deity in the temple is essential to reduce one's restlessness due to the contaminations of conditioned life. Thus, Narad in his Pancharatri Ki Vidhi and other great sages have sometimes stressed that since every conditioned soul has a bodily concept of life aimed at sense enjoyment, to restrict this sense enjoyment, the rules and regulations for worshipping the deity in the temple are essential. Srila Rupa Goswami has described that the holy name of the Lord can be chanted by liberated souls, but almost all the souls we have to initiate are conditioned. It is advised that one chant the holy name of the Lord without offenses and according to the regulative principles. Yet, due to their past bad habits, they violate these rules and regulations. Thus, the regulative principles for worship of the deity are also simultaneously essential. So we have read one of the most important verses of the lila, which tells us the importance of Harinam, and also that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra has been spoken about in the Kali Santaran Upanishad. The importance of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Verse 77, since I received this order from my spiritual master, I always chant the holy name, but I thought that by chanting and chanting the holy name, I had been bewildered. Verse 78, while chanting the holy name of the Lord in pure ecstasy, I lose myself and thus I laugh, cry, dance and sing just like a madman. Verse 79, collecting my patience, therefore I began to consider that chanting the holy name of the Krishna had covered all my spiritual knowledge. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hints in this verse that to chant the holy name of Krishna, one does not need to speculate on the philosophical aspects of the science of God, for one automatically becomes ecstatic and without consideration immediately chants, dances, laughs, cries and sings just like a madman. Verse 80, I saw that I had become mad by chanting the holy name. I immediately submitted this at the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an ideal teacher shows us how a disciple should deal with his spiritual master. Whenever there is doubt regarding any point, he should refer the matter to his spiritual master for clarification. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that while chanting and dancing, he had developed the kind of mad ecstasy that is possible only for a liberated soul. Yet even in his liberated position, he referred everything to his spiritual master whenever there were doubts. Thus, in any condition, even when liberated, we should never think ourselves independent of the spiritual master, but must refer to him as soon as there are some doubt regarding our progressive spiritual life. Verse 81, My dear Lord, what kind of mantra have you given me? I have become mad simply by chanting this Mahamantra. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, praise in his Shikshashtaka, Yugaitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrishyat Shaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahena Me. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in this world in your absence. It is the aspiration of a devotee that while he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, his eyes will fill with tears, his voice falter, and his heart throb. These are good signs in chanting the holy name of the Lord. In ecstasy, one should feel the entire world to be vacant without the presence of Govinda. This is a sign of separation from Govinda. In material world life, we are all separated from Govinda and are absorbed in material sense gratification. Therefore, when one comes to his senses on the spiritual platform, he becomes so eager to meet Govinda that without Govinda, the entire world becomes a vacant place. Verse 82, chanting the holy name in ecstasy causes me to dance, laugh and cry. When my spiritual master heard all this, he smiled and then began to speak. Purport: when a disciple very perfectly makes progress in his spiritual life, this gladdens the spiritual master, who then also smiles in ecstasy, thinking how successful my disciple has become. He feels so glad that he smiles as he enjoys the progress of the disciple, just as smiling parent enjoys the activities of a child who is trying to stand up or crawl perfectly. Verse 83, it is the nature of Hare Krishna Mahamantra that anyone who chants it immediately develops his loving ecstasy for Krishna. Purport: in this verse, it is explained that one who chants the Hare Krishna mantra develops bhav, ecstasy, which is the point at which revelation begins. It is the preliminary stage in developing one's original love for God. Lord Krishna mentions this bhav stage in the Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravardate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhav samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. A neophyte disciple begins by hearing and chanting, associating with devotees and practicing the regulative principles, and thus he vanquishes all of his unwanted bad habits. In this way, he develops attachment for Krishna and cannot forget Krishna even for a moment. Bhav is almost successful stage of spiritual life. A sincere student orally receives the holy name from the spiritual master, and after being initiated, he follows the regulative principles given by the spiritual master. When the holy name is properly served in this way, automatically the spiritual nature of the holy name spreads. In other words, this devotee becomes qualified in offenselessly chanting the holy name. When one is completely fit to chant the holy name in this way, he is eligible to make disciples all over the world, and he actually becomes Jagat Guru. Then the entire world under his influence begins to chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thus all the disciples of such spiritual master increase in attachment for Krishna, and therefore he sometimes cries, sometimes laughs, sometimes dances, and sometimes chants. These symptoms are very prominently manifest in the body of a pure devotee. Sometimes when our students of the Krishna consciousness movement chant and dance, even in India, people are astonished to see how these foreigners have learned to chant and dance in this ecstatic fashion. As explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, actually this is not due to practice, for without extra endeavor, these symptoms become manifest in anyone who sincerely chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Many fools, not knowing the transcendental nature of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, sometimes impede our loudly chanting this mantra. Yet one who is actually advanced in the fulfillment of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra induces others to chant also. Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami explains, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartana. Unless one receives special power of attorney from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he cannot preach the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As devotees propagate the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the general population of the entire world gets the opportunity to understand the glories of the holy name. While chanting and dancing or hearing the holy name of the Lord, one automatically remembers the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because there is no difference between the holy name and Krishna, the chanter is immediately linked with Krishna. Thus connected, a devotee develops his original attitude of service to the Lord. In this attitude of constantly serving Krishna, which is called bhava, he always thinks of Krishna in many different ways. One who has attained this bhava stage is no longer under the clutches of the illusory energy. When other spiritual ingredients such as trembling, perspiration and tears are added to this bhava stage, the devotee gradually attains love of Krishna. The holy name of Krishna is called Mahamantra. Other mantras mentioned in the Narad Pancharatra are known simply as mantras, but the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is called the Mahamantra. So we will continue from here on next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.